Most formations I make rely on using specific players in specific positions. For example, you might need an anchor man or you might need a hole player, but I've extensively tested this formation over the last few days and I think pretty much any playstyle can work in any position. There are just a few combos I would worry about, more on that later. The first thing you might notice on the formation is the asymmetrical shape on the wingers. This was of course first implemented to get the link up feature working between Neymar and Ronaldinho, but it actually has the additional benefit of helping you defend in a 4-4-2, because as you can see here, when we don't have the ball, Messi actually joins Ronaldo up front and presses the back line, while the midfield becomes a flat 4 with either Neymar or Mateus going over to that right mid space, allowing for a solid defensive shape but also being primed to start a counter attack if we do win the ball back. In centre back, I would definitely recommend having fast centre backs. I've not noticed any issues with Tomiyasu getting done for pace, but I have noticed issues with Maldini, so I'm actually going to change Maldini's build here to 90 speed, like so. Hopefully that means we're not going to get caught on the through ball as much. Let me know if you want me to work on a video with updated builds for eFootball 26. A tactical variation you can make if your opponent is playing very defensively, perhaps in a 5 at the back formation, is to move your more attacking defensive mid out a bit wider into centre midfield. What this will allow is this space up here to be exploited while maintaining width with your winger. Just make sure whoever you're sending forward in this role can actually shoot the ball. Now, the link up play. Does this feature work? If we read the description, it says the key man moves forward aggressively when the centerpiece has the ball in the middle third. So the key man will be your winger, who's a hole player, and then the centerpiece will be your creative playmaker. That has to be an AMF. And then it says true passes and tripped through balls made by the centerpiece to the key man, as well as pass trapping abilities, will have better accuracy. So the second part of that description is basically saying it's like having visionary pass, which improves the first touch of a pass receiver. So I have a Kevin De Bruyne with visionary pass. Whenever I play a ball into Haaland, Haaland has a better touch because of De Bruyne's visionary pass. Basically, this applies when Neymar is passing to Ronaldinho and we have the link up feature active. But the link up feature is also improving the accuracy of the pass, so it actually feels like Neymar has phenomenal pass at times when I'm playing to Ronaldinho. From my experience, I've probably played about 50 or 60 games now. I think it works more with chipped through balls rather than passes along the ground. That's just in general though. I have played an absolutely insanely broken pass with Brahim Diaz out to the left mid while using the link up play feature, and it's funny because I was actually trying to pass it to my left back, because there's no way in hell a pass along the ground should have reached the target. But I held triangle and it changed the pass to my winger and went through, and I think Konami knew it wouldn't work along the ground either, because even though I only pressed triangle, the game lifted the pass up into the air. In terms of what players should you play at AMF, definitely players with good lofted pass stats. I've actually tried a few different cards, such as this Messi here, Baggio and Hullet, and I definitely didn't like them. And one thing you'll notice about all of these guys is they have very poor lofted pass stats. This version of Messi has very good low pass stats, but I definitely think the lofted pass is actually what makes this link up play feature more effective. But I don't think the link up play feature is an absolute necessity. I definitely think even if you don't have Jose Mourinho as your manager, this formation is really good, and it's because of one position here. And while prolific winger definitely works at right wing forward, I think this blue boot Messi is so effective because of two reasons. One, he's a Roman flank, so tactically he cuts in a lot better and makes better runs. And then secondly, he is fast. This tactic excels if you use pacey players, particularly on the wings, and then a very creative playmaker in the middle who can ping the passes out to them. And it's also why I think an anchorman isn't as effective in this tactic, because I do think you need the box to box or someone more physical who can get up and down the pitch on this side, but you also want the ability to spray passes from deep. So I've been using Pirlo, who's been very good, or even this Xabi Alonso, who's someone I usually don't like in eFootball, but because of the new passing, I actually think he's quite effective now. In striker, I really don't think it matters too much what you use. You can use a goal poacher. I feel like the run and gun type of strikers like Batistuta, who's got pace and power and physical, are very good. Box in the boxes, who've got very good movement and want to get on the end of through balls, are very good. And even deep line forwards have been very effective, particularly if you move this defensive midfielder up to centre mid and get that overlap in this space here. And then even if you don't have the link up play feature, you can probably use a deep line forward up front there and maybe a hole player like this. And of course, you're going to get your overlaps like so. But definitely a very effective tactic. And if we go with the individual instructions, I actually don't think there is any individual instructions that are needed. The only one you might consider is if you're worried about your opponent, put a defensive instruction on your left back.